Oh, here we go again. How you doing? Are you good? Are you Genki? This is Gray from Wakizashi's Tea House over in Japan. Hope you're good, hope you're Genki. It's currently Saturday, January 31st, 1:01 p.m. Yes, I'm just about on time, isn't that good? So, I hope you've had a great week. It's been a busy week for me. Busy at work as usual. You know how it goes. Been a crazy week actually. I was glad to get to Saturday, that kind of feeling. Sounding okay? Okay, that's good. Just double checked. Yeah, did a recording last night with Fear Monarch, and I was editing that review this morning. Took quite a bit. Got a story about that as well, but we dropped a review of Absolute Martian Manhunter, issue 8, which is one of the most overhyped comics I think I've seen in a long time. Going by the reviews, on League of Comic Book Geeks and what's it called, CBR. Comic Book Roundup. There we go. I'm trying to get it ready to share. I want to show you so we know what I'm talking about. Let's see how I do with this review, because it's a rare one from Gray. It's a bit of a clickbaity title. There we go. Overhyped. Absolute Martian Manhunter issue 8 review. An honest review of the overhyped issue. It's not even that clickbaity, is it? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We've not had any really stinky comments yet, but hey, there's still time, isn't there? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Jargon 2 in the chat. Absolute Martian Manhunter issue 8 was very, very, very overrated, overhyped, in my opinion. But if you like it, if you enjoyed it, that's great. All the more power to you. Absolute power, that's what I say. Remove that. So yeah, we're going to be talking comic book news, including Sal Buscema. Sadly passed away during the week. We're going to have a look at the top 10 hottest comics according to Bleeding Fool, and AIPT, just for the laughs. But you never know, there might be some good ones in there, if we're lucky. And otherwise, yeah, that's about it. Catch up on just general waffly news. So we're going to go straight into it. We're going to jump in with a bit of serious comic book news. Let's see. Remove that one. Stop sharing. Okay. So this is an article on AIPT. It's good to see them, doing this. I've not pre-read it, just to warn you, so I'm going to be going through this live. And I've got to say, same thing happened last week. I was surprised to see on AIPT that they've got like ads which are stuck in the site now. You can't like block them. You can't get rid of them. But it is ads for comics, so I suppose there you go. I wonder how much Vault Comics are paying them to put those ads in. Hey Joshua, how you doing, man? Good to see you too. So let's get into this article. Here we go. The classic image, of course, of the Incredible Hulk changing from Bruce Banner to the Hulk, Sal Buscema. Let's see what they had to say. Sal Buscema's superpower was clarity. A reminder that sometimes the most important superpower in comics isn't spectacle. It's knowing exactly how to make a story move. So this was written by David Brooke on January 30th this year, so just from yesterday. Here we go. Sal Buscema didn't draw flashy, and that's exactly why his work still hits. Oh my god, just flew forward then. His lines moved deliberately. His visual storytelling was clean without being sterile. And when action needed to land, when a punch had to feel like it reached the bone, Buscema knew how to make your eyes snap to the impact before your brain even caught up. I like that. So on January 24th, 2026, Sal Buscema passed away at the age of 89. That's a great run, isn't it? 89 is brilliant these days. Leaving behind one of the most quietly essential bodies of work in mainstream comics. Over more than 4 decades, he penciled and inked across the Marvel Universe, helping define the look and rhythm of the Avengers, Captain America, Defenders, Spectacular Spider-Man, Rom, New Mutants, Thor, and of course, the Incredible Hulk, his signature character. Now, I've actually got, where are we? Just go back to the top so you can get the image. I don't have any single issues by Sal, featuring Sal Buscema's art, but I have this. Let's get back to the studio. I'm going to stop sharing while I show this. Here we go. It's the Penguin and Marvel Classics collection of the Avengers. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Roy Thomas, Don Hecky, John Buscema and Sal Buscema. So there's not much of Sal Buscema, but at least I got something by him. It's good to have. And man, the art in this is awesome. I love these, by the way. I love these Penguin Marvel classic titles. I've got the Spider-Man one, which is excellent. Really recommend it. The Avengers one is good as well. It reprints some of the full issues, but not that many because, you know, that's how thick it is. In this kind of more compact style. Where are we? John Buscema. This isn't Sal, but look at this. For example, just brilliant, brilliant art. You get the covers, you know, you get the interior. Sometimes you get the odd letters page, things like that. You get little essays about the books, the comics. I want to find Sal. Come on, Sal, where are you? So I'll tell you what, let's go to the index. That's probably the fastest way. Go to the index and have a look. Gray peeping over the book. Right, where are we? Okay, it doesn't list them separately. I'm going to have to go one by one to find him. So how about you? Have you read any comics? Do you have any comics by Sal Buscema? John Buscema art again. Maybe it's the earlier ones. I thought it'd be like more towards the end, but... The Avengers 71, December 1969. Let's see. The Final Battle Endgame. I don't think this is him. It might be. Can't find the credits, but have a look at the art again. Look at that cover. How cool is that? Human Torch, Black Panthers on there, Captain America, Namor. The Mighty Avengers Endgame. And where's the credits for this? Probably at the end. Haha, that's why it's called Endgame. So we're talking the 1960s here. Just randomly, this one popped up from March 1966. The Avengers issue 26. This has inconceivable art by Don Heck. Can't find Sal. Sal, where are you? But anyway, yeah, I could go on and on, like just searching, looking for love. There we go. This one? It could be this one. No. The first one it reprints is, let me show you, The Avengers issue 1 from September 1963. Now this, of course, was written by Stan Lee and it's drawn by Jack Kirby. There we go. Look at that. Look at that awesome nose on the cover. Loki. That's Loki, by the way. The original look of Loki, if you didn't know. The first of a star-studded series of book-length super epics featuring some of the Earth's greatest heroes. Yeah, just let me show you. I want to show you a picture of Loki. There's quite a funny one in here. Oh my God, there's an even weirder one of the Hulk. What was going on here? Oh, he's like juggling elephants and horses, and he's wearing something very strange at the circus. Don't remember the Hulk being part of the circus, do you? But yeah, here's the original Loki. There he is. Okay, let's get back to the article. Sal Buscema was born on January 26, 1936, in Brooklyn. He often credited his older brother, John, of course, the artist John Buscema, as the gravitational pull that directed his path. But far from a footnote to somebody else's career, Sal was a pillar of an era, especially once Marvel's monthly machine needed artists who could deliver strong storytelling on time, every time. Remember that? Remember on time, every time? Remember books that didn't have fill-in artists? 2 fill-in artists in the same book as the main artist? I'm looking at you, the last issue of Amazing Spider-Man. Crazy. Okay, back to Buscema. He started in commercial arts and that training mattered. In an interview with Brian D. Stroud, Buscema described his army years as an illustrator for the Engineer Corps, as one of the earliest stretches of professionally published work he could point to. Okay. One reason his Hulk run remains such a defining stretch from the mid 70s into the mid 80s. Buscema's Incredible Hulk wasn't just a steady hand on a flagship title, it was the book's visual identity. He drew the Hulk as a force with weight and temper, but also as a character who could be monstrous, tragic, and weirdly funny, without breaking tone. Buscema himself told the interviewer, "My favourite would be the Incredible Hulk. Far and away." There we go, check this out. Here's him doing a bit of Spidey art. Spectacular Spider-Man issue 215. that page is taken from. Okay, for me though, this writer who's written this article, it was Sal Buscema's spectacular Spider-Man run that really flipped the switch. As a younger reader, those issues were my first clue that superhero comics didn't have to feel safe or sanitized. They could be tense, unsettling, and emotionally sharp. His style on Spectacular felt literally edgier. Figures built with harder angles, punches and kicks thrown with a sharper snap. Bodies crashing in ways that appeared aggressive rather than choreographed. The book carried a darker, more adult mood than I expected from Spider-Man, and Sal Buscema's art did much of the heavy lifting. The line work, the staging, and the violence itself told you this wasn't the same playground. That run taught me early on that superhero comics could grow up with their readers. As Gray reaches for a glass of water. Goodness gracious, I just finished a bowl of really good ramen. I think it was shoyu, soy sauce ramen, just before I went live, so I'm feeling a bit salty, if you know what I mean. Pretty cool, eh? You can see the difference in the art here. I like it. I know what they're talking about, like kind of hard, a little bit angular, the lines. Cool, look at the Spidey here in shadow. Hey, stupid, you looked slam, or is it splam? You can't see the P for Spidey's fist there. Again, it's taken from Spectacular Spider-Man issue 215. Now, when I was reading Spectacular, I don't think Sal Buscema was doing the art then. I must have been like towards the later, the 1980s, like 80, I started around 87, 88, collecting regularly. And I was mainly getting the main Spidey title and Daredevil and Batman. That was it. But I did get into Spider-Man. There were 3 going at the same time. There was, I think Spectacular Spider-Man became Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man. One of the longest titles in comics back then. Not anymore, eh? Hey, I'm looking at you. Was it Fear and Love on the Road to Hell, on the Path to Hell? Anyway, never mind. What else? So I got that. I was getting ASM, Amazing Spider-Man, and Web of Spider-Man. Remember that? Yeah. Okay. Remembering him, Spider-Man writer J.M. DeMatteis called Buscema an impeccable visual storyteller and a total professional, adding that he was a gentleman. It's a description that fits not just the work, but the way he approached it, without ego, without excess, and without ever losing sight of the reader. He also had strong opinions about what made comics comics. Bit like all of us, eh? Buscema championed the Marvel method and felt that full script storytelling should be restrictive, arguing that artists think visually in a way that's hard to replicate panel by panel from prose. Whether you agree or not, it's hard to read his best work and not see the case he's making. When Buscema is firing, the pictures do the heavy lifting. Cool. Just a bit more to go, folks. Here we go. In the interview with Stroud, Buscema discussed his formal training at the High School of Music and Art in New York, the same institution later associated with the TV show Fame. He admitted with real humility that he didn't take full advantage of it as a kid, but he stuck with it to build a career. He also said something that looks like the thesis statement for his life in comics. I wanted to get right into the business, and I'm not sorry that I did. It worked out for me, and I've never regretted it. That lack of regret is earned. Buscema wasn't a myth, he was a worker. He did the jobs, hit the deadlines, and made the characters look like themselves. He drew heroes the way readers needed them drawn, clear, dynamic, and alive on the page. That's cool. And he contributed to shaping a family legacy at Marvel, not just through his brother, John, but also through decades of work that made the Marvel Universe feel consistent month to month. It's easy to celebrate comics history through the loudest innovators. Sal Buscema deserves to be remembered for something else, reliability as artistry. He was the artist you could trust to deliver a story with clean motion, strong emotion, and no wasted beats. In a medium built on momentum, that is foundational. That's a pretty awesome article by David Brooke there, just to remind. So do check it out if you want to read it in your own time on AIPT. AIPT. Sal Buscema, rest in peace. Thank you for your work. Okay, let's remove that. Get back to Gray. Wow, how's it going? Is there anybody out there? How are you feeling? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling Genki?
An enormous vertical.
How about Alan Moore?
Time.
I couldn't resist. I dropped this this little mini clip in the Absolute Martian Manhunter review. So yeah, people comparing Dennis Camp to Grant Morrison, Frank Miller, and Alan Moore. Some of the reviewers, saying Dennis Camp will be remembered in the same sentence as those three creators. I was like, have a word. What are you talking about? Okay. So, what else? Oh my god, I nearly hit end stream then. Tell you, I'm getting a bit wacky dacky doodle at the moment. Really am in my older age. So, if you watch this and then later on you're not watching this live, do drop a comment about what you recommend Sal Buscema has drawn, because I say I'm not that familiar with his art style. Maybe his older brother John was more famous. Is that right? If I got that right, let's have a quick look. Let's have a look. Let's do Google Sensei. Just give me some ideas. I mean, John Buscema was he was born 1927, so yeah, the older brother. He passed away in January 2002. Best known for his run on the series The Avengers and The Silver Surfer. And for over 200 stories featuring the sword and sorcery hero Conan the Barbarian. Yeah, of course. Who could forget that? Was he doing the Savage Sword of Conan? I think. So yeah, now we're talking about Buscema. Let's put John in as well. Present to invite, share screen. This is just off Wiki. It's not an article. Don't worry, I'm not going to read all the way through it. One of the mainstays of Marvel Comics during its 1960s and 1970s ascendancy, John Buscema, an industry leader, and its subsequent expansion to a major pop culture conglomerate, part of the Marvel's boom, in the 60s and 70s. His younger brother, Sal Buscema, was also a comic book artist. Yeah, such a shame he's passed away. So this is going back to John there. John Buscema, he penciled at least one issue of nearly every major Marvel title, including long runs on two of the company's top magazines, Fantastic Four and Thor. You see, it's before my time, it really is. The 1960s, 1970s. I just missed it. How I got into comics as a young teenager, or maybe pre-teenager, in the mid-1980s. So cool. The Avengers. Issue 41, look at that, by Buscema. Let's just check. Fantastic Wikipedia. You click on it, you try and make it larger, and it goes smaller. Look at that, folks. They're useless for images, Wikipedia, they really are. Silver Surfer, issue 4, 1969, cover art by Buscema and inker Sal Buscema. One of John Buscema and Sal Buscema's, if he's inking it, most famous covers. Brilliant. Look at that. He did some amazing Spider-Man from issue 72, 73, 76 to 81, 84, 85, ranging from June 1969 to June 1970. Buscema drew the first appearance of the Prowler in The Amazing Spider-Man. But I know I could be confusing people. I'm going to talk about John. Let's go back to Sal, his brother. Let's see what Wiki's got to say about Sal. There we go. So he was born 1936, passed away at the ripe old age of 89 this year, 2026. He had a 10-year run as the artist of The Incredible Hulk and an 8-year run as the artist of the Spectacular Spider-Man. I'm going to have to check these out now, definitely. Let's have a look at any covers here. Any art showing? Nope. Where are we? Okay, that's the later part of his career. Let's see when he was peaking. Here we go. In 1968, Sal Buscema began working for Marvel Comics, where his older brother John was already established as a freelance artist. Buscema had spent every night for about a year teaching himself how to produce a dynamic page. Fascinating. In the Marvel Comics storytelling style, enduring harsh critics from older brother John. Sal recalled in the late 2000s. Once I got the hang of it, I made up 6 sample pages of pencils, i.e. penciled and uninked art pages, which I regret because I wanted to be an inker. I didn't want to pencil. My first few jobs for Marvel were inking jobs. Okay, interesting. but I did those while working for Design Center. I wanted to work full-time for Marvel, so it was out of necessity that I penciled. Editor-in-Chief Stan Lee loved the samples. He asked me to come up to New York, which I did, and I went through the most fantastic interview of my life. Stan was leaping on his chair and his desk just to relate to me physically what he wanted on a comic book page. Man, how good would it have been to see that, to be a fly on the wall in the room, as they say. It was fascinating and it was charming all at the same time. He made the sound effects, the whole 9 yards. He demonstrated every other way you could possibly demonstrate what he wanted on those pages, the dynamics and so on. That's so cool. Sal's first published comics work had come before. Here we go, where are we? He inked John Buscema's pencil art on 4 39 to 40 page stories in the superhero comic The Silver Surfer. Issues 4 to 7, February to August 1969, and he inked Larry Lieber's pencils on the regular size 20-page western The Rawhide Kid, issue 68, from February 1969. Older brother John specifically asked for his brother as inker on The Silver Surfer. At the time, a high-profile project dear to writer-editor Lee, who gave the character an unprecedented, for the time, double-sized 64-page solo series priced at 25 cents, more than twice the price of the standard 32-page 12-cent comic. No way. So it says here, a double-sized, 64-page, but with ads and covers, solo series. I didn't know that. Joe Sinnott inked the first 3 Silver Surfer issues. John was not happy with the inking Joe was doing because Joe's style of inking was somewhat overpowering, and at the end of it, he didn't look like John Buscema anymore. So John told Stan, "I don't want Joe inking my work, he's losing my penciling." He said, "I want my brother, I want Sal." He knew that I knew how to ink his work. He was a little spotty on my first issue, but after that, he was absolutely delighted with what I did. That's cool. Okay, I could go on, but let's get back. See if anyone's here. If you're here, drop a comment in the chat. Go on, I dare you. I double dare you. You what, love? Okay, that's cool. It's good to hear. So, say Sal Buscema, another one has passed away. The comics legends, they're getting old, aren't they? They're getting older and older. Yeah, what can you say? It's life, isn't it? What can you do? Okay, right. Let's move on to this. I'm gonna go a bit of Bleeding Cool. I'm gonna surprise you. This is Bleeding Cool. They put together a week of the top 10 hottest comics of the previous week. It's from some kind of weird. Let me just double check it where it's from. Courtesy of the website Cover Price and Bleeding Cool. So Cover Price, which you got to subscribe to, and you got to pay for it to get the actual any kind of sales data that they have. But let's see what they've got listed for their top 10 of the week. Come on, you're going to get some laughs here, I reckon, but no, maybe not. Here we go. This is by Rich Johnston, of course. Bleeding Cool. Surprise, it's not all Absolute Batman this week. Instead, we get a healthy dose of Dennis Camp's assorted crisis events. According to Rich Johnston, the hottest series of 2025. Really? Anyone reading it? I'm not being facetious. Let me know in the comments if you are, and let me know if it's good. The Beauty blasts off on the heels of the FX show, while He-Man rides the wave of his own movie trailer. Psylocke makes the front page, while Mega Man introduces the newest iteration. Nightwing's abs make another appearance for sweater weather, while the aftermarket ponders a mate for DCU Superman. Oh, and Simbi. The 10 hottest comics of the week courtesy of Cover Price and Bleeding Cool. I don't believe it. Here we go. Let's go through them, folks. Number 1, Assorted Crisis Events Issue 8. I just want to see what they're saying about this because I'm not reading it. I tried issue 1 and I couldn't even finish it. This series has been trending like wildfire the past few weeks, since the internet highlighted it as one of the best series of 2025. Really? Collectors are after it in a big way. Well, I'll tell you, my comic book buddies are limited, There's only a few people I talk to directly, and there are people in the Weird Science Comics Slack who, hear from. No one is talking about Assorted Crisis Events. And no one I've heard has said it's the hottest or one of the best series of last year. The most recent release saw tons of interested collectors visiting their LCS for a copy. Collectors, eh? Not comic book readers. And what they got surprised many of them. Like comics of old, this issue was printed on newsprint paper. The same type of paper used for newspapers. Really? You don't say! Talk about stating the obvious. Rich. Actually, I picked up a copy of, I talked about it before, the Criminal Giant Size Special back when I was in Manchester over the Christmas and the New Year, and that was printed on newsprint. You know, newsprint, that's what newspapers printed on. Sorry. Where are we? Collectors love the gimmick and love the fact that it would not see the same gimmick on future reprints if the internet is to be believed. Believe in the internet? Thus, the comic hit the online aftermarket and quickly ballooned in price. We tracked it as at a high sale of $90 for a raw NM copy. Blah, blah, blah. Amazing Spider-Man 11 was a top 10 of last week because of the Benjamin Sue variant. Is this the Symbi one? Let's just click on it. Give you guys a bigger look. How bizarre. Actually, should I keep that as the main image then? Before I get back to it, let me shout out in the chat. We have Salty, Travelling Sea. Yeah, mate, according to Rich Johnson and Bleeding Cool and the internet, according to him, it's one of the most popular and the best series of last year. Anybody reading it? I say again, do let me know. I'll keep sharing that, and I will get I'll bring it up again so I can just talk and show you a decent image. Who wants to be looking at reams and reams of text? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, in at number 2, okay, it's still there. Amazing Spider-Man issue 11 with the Benjamin Sue variant. This issue has a ton going on with it. It marks the first appearance of the Tech-Arachnid suit, along with Wretched and Plague RX. However, this book features a little critter taking the internet by storm. Just let me stroke my chinny chin chin. Known as Symbi, he's basically a decently kind-hearted alien. A symbiote baby, or something like that. He's the most recent Marvel mascot to make his rounds and just appeared in the incredibly popular Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends kids show. That had collectors doubling back to find this issue from last year. Okay, I'm getting this now. This is not the best-selling issues of last week. This is the biggest, the best-selling, or no, the most collected, or the ones that have been inflated price because of random things which make them collectors very excited, isn't it? This is nonsense. How are we doing? Oh, hey! Yo! Grey is my favourite kind-hearted alien, says Nosferatu the vampire. Nosferatu. I can't do the voice. I can't do the voice from the movie. I've got it, Nos, I've watched it. Something like that, isn't it? Jesus. What a voice he had. Should we continue? Shall we go a little bit more? Let's do it. Do it. I'm not going to read the whole things out, guys, but number 3, according to this list, top 10 comics from last week was Action Comics issue 645. Psylocke Ninja issue 1 was at number 4. The Stanley Artgerm Lao Virgin variant, which was beautiful. I do like that, by the way. It's not a very good photo of it. There's this one here, if you can see me waving me a little cursor. Very Japanese style to it. Nice. Number 5 was a Mega Man Legends Timelines issue 1, which I've never heard of. Number 6, the Assorted Crisis Events issue 3. So the Assorted Crisis Events, we've got issue 8 at number 1, issue 3 at number 6. Ridiculous. The Beauty issue 1, the Jenny Frisson cover B from Image 2015. The Beauty just dropped on FX, and thus far it's been a bit of a mixed bag. But that hasn't stopped collectors from visiting the aftermarket to secure the debut issue of the series they're now watching on TV. Even better, it's a Jenny Frisson cover. We tracked it at a high sale of $199 for a CGC 9.8 copy. Nightwing issue 134, the Travis Moore Sweater Weather variant cover. It came out during Halloween. We're seeing it again now in the winter season. Yeah, this is nonsense, this list. Masters of the Universe, issue 1, direct sales, DC, 1982. 82! I thought that cover was looking a bit old. Where are we? It's been a few years since it was announced, but a recent trailer, He-Man, reminded collectors that we are in fact getting a He-Man movie. Thus far, reception toward the trailer has been great, catching a lot of people off guard who assumed it would be a dud. The run has begun for this issue, the first He-Man comic dedicated to older audiences. Previous He-Man books usually shipped with action figures and were marketed toward children. This book changed the game, and thus is the book collectors want in preparation for the film. Excuse me. We tracked it at a high sale of $300 for a CGC 9.8 copy. Bourbon away, bourbon up shoyu ramen. And the last one on this list, guys, I tell you, I'm not going to bother with this again. It completely fooled me with a title. The top 10 hottest comics of the week, not the bestsellers. Absolute Batman issue 2 with a Nick Dragotta second printing cover. It's been on an insane tear this year. Heck, even the second prints are seeing some action. Take this book, a killer cover from Dragotta that appears to homage the Dark Knight movie poster. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, that one. The skyscraper. The burning skyscraper with the eyes. It also features the first appearance of Absolute Oswald Cobblepot. Love that name. Oswald Cobblepot. Edward Nygma, Harvey Dent, and the first Selina Kyle cameo. This is all the Absolute versions of those characters, yeah? As the first print grows out of reach for many, these second prints rise in demand. It doesn't hurt, the cover rocks as well. We tracked it at a high sale of $75 for a CGC 9.8 copy. Boom. I'm slumped forward like an old man staring at the screen there. Yo, Salty. I know it was a nonsense list, mate. It tricked me. It's not the best sellers. No G.I. Joe, Transformers, or Ghost Machine titles. The article is just to grade the Jay-Z of the Portland or New York City market. AI scraped eBay sales and generated this illogical cope. I know. Nonsense, eh? Nonsense! Absolutely crazy. Speaking of that, though, Salt, you just reminded me. I don't think I saved the screen grab, but for what limited sales data we can get, data, Earl Grey, hot. For what limited sales data we can get, the top selling comics of last year came out, and it was pretty much. It was a home run for DC, and it was mostly Absolute titles. The Battle Beast issue 1 was up there. That was really good to see that. Marvel, Deadpool, DC, Marvel. For some reason, the Marvel one was at the top of the list. The DC one, which I thought was much better, was a second. But yeah, otherwise it was Absolute. And Batman #1, a couple of issues like that. There was almost no Marvel apart from the aforesaid Deadpool crossover, Deadpool Batman crossover. Crazy, right? Yeah, the one of this Mark. Yeah, one of Mark Spears was on there as well. I can't remember which issue it was, but it was there. So, no surprises, eh? No surprises. That's a Radiohead song. Right, get rid of that. Okay, let's go to the other site, the other nonsense site for the actual. This is not the best-selling comics. It's AIPT's reviewers chosen 5 best of the week. Are you ready for this? Let's see if any of the ones that you like are on there. Or Grey. Or me. Go to hell. Absolute Batman is on there. Good to see. But so is the aforementioned absolute overrated smell your own farts Martian Manhunter. Here we go. Fantastic 5 best comics of the week of January 28th, 2026, according to the writers on AIPT, David Brooke, Collier Jennings, Deirdre Freitas, and Chris Copland. In at number 5, Toxic Avenger Comics, issue 7. I'm not going to go into the reviews. Following a really solid pivot to a 5-issue storyline, Toxic Avenger Comics issue 7 dazzles with bigger lore, bigger stakes, bigger enemies, and bigger opportunities. Here we go. This makes more sense. In at number 4, G.I. Joe issue 18. A much needed breather issue after the Dreadnought War that gives Roadblock his due. DEI. G.I. Joe 18 both provides a much needed breather issue. I just said the same thing. I hope to see more of Roadblock and Night Force in future issues, along with a recipe for one of Marvin's melts. There we go. Fan favourite character? Anyone? Number 3, Absolute Martian Manhunter issue 8. I tell you, man, it's the most overhyped issue of the week. Just go on League of Comic Book Geeks when you get some time. Click it up. Have a look at the reviews. There's a couple of like maybe 2.5. I think mine's on there for 2.5 stars out of 5, and that's being generous. I think maybe I should drop it 1.5. You know, they're all like 4 and 5s out of 10, and people like screaming, like losing their minds over it. If it was any other artist, you wouldn't be saying the same thing, I'm sure. It's not Camp. It's not Dennis Camp. It's Javier Rodriguez, and even for him, this latest issue 8, was looked a bit rushed at times compared to earlier issues. Let's see what the reviewer Deirdre Freighter's review says. The highlights of the review. If issue 7 was a reset, issue 8 is a full tilt reminder of the cost of willful ignorance and complacency. With more questions raised and few answers given. This is the whole point that me and Fiamon were talking about. Few answers given. There's been no story hardly. Progression in 8 issues. We still don't know pretty much hardly anything from the characters. You know, don't know what they're on about. Don't know who anyone is. John has been fixing his breaking up marriage for 8 issues. He's got no closer to fixing it. He goes and talks to his wife. And, oh my God, it's absolute nonsense, I tell you. It's not just me, is it? Am I taking crazy pills or what? Man. It's a rare bit, not even a ranty review. It's a long review, so if you've got time, put it on in the background, have a listen to me and Fim on it, breaking it down. We go into detail. It's like 35, 36 minutes long. We go into detail. We don't just say, oh, this is rubbish, it's dog crap, like people usually do. We actually give reasons why. Anyway, where was I? Number 2, Bug Wars, the Spider Witch special. Now, I haven't read this, but I do want to try and get a copy. I like the character. I only read maybe the first 3 issues of Bug Wars. I think it went for, was it 6 before it took a break? But the Spider Witch special could be good. And it's got some great variant covers, folks. Collier Jennings said, Bug Wars, the Spider Witch special, is chock full of all the gore and lore that powered the original series. Yet it also lays the tracks for more adventures in this world. If you missed out on the first Bug Wars, you owe it to yourself to pick up this book. And in at number 1, I don't know if I agree, but I've read it and I think it's a really good, strong story. Absolute Batman issue 16. We've got Absolute Wonder Woman in here working with Absolute Batman. It's so nicely well paced. It's Nick Dragotta's art is, it's always good, but it looks a bit rushed at times again, but there's still some great pages in there. Let's see what they say. No way I might be agreeing with David Brooke, the reviewer. Here we go. Absolute Batman 16 is a masterclass in pacing, character work and visual storytelling. By stripping Bruce Wayne back to his most human core and pairing him with Wonder Woman's effortless command of the magical, this issue finds a rare balance between introspection and adventure. Scott Snyder delivers a story that feels both like a reset and a meaningful step forward, while Nick Dragotta's panel-dense, emotionally rich artwork elevates every page into something memorable. This is the kind of issue that rewards slow reading and reminds you why this universe feels special. As someone who only gives out perfect 10s 3 or 4 times a year, really, David Brooke, you've just gone up in my estimation. This one earns it and then some. There we go, folks. Absolute Batman, Bug Wars, the Spider Witch special, Absolute Smell You on Farts, Martian Manhunter, G.I. Joe, and The Toxic Avenger, according to AIPT. Fantastic 5, best comics of the week. Okay. Whew, we've been going 39 minutes. I've not taken a drink of water. Salty. Really? I thought you might be into that. Bug Wars? What the F? Ah, dear, you guys are mad. My LCS gets 1 copy of Bug Wars, just 1, and no one buys it. This article feels like the overflow seething from that leaked Signal chat where all the other creators were jealous of Absolute Batman and Scott Snyder. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Oh, it's funny, man. It's funny seeing that. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed going through that. That was cool. It was fun. Fun. Remember fun? Do you? Well, do you now?
No way.
What else was I going to do? Let's get back to the channel we're taking there. So yeah, great to have Nosferatu, and so it's like the old days, mate, isn't it? And no, Nos, I'm not reading Blood Meridian. I'm not. Sorry. I'm currently reading Salman Rushdie's autobiography of his knife when he was knifed almost to death a couple of years ago. Let me just bring it up on Kindle. I'll show you. Just show you the cover at least. It's fascinating. It's really, really good. Like scary read, but it's fascinating. Here you go. You get to see what Gray's Kindle library holds. Are you ready? Ready for all the naughty top shelf books I'm going to show by mistake. There we go. Look at this. Look at this. Knife. Meditations after an attempted murder by Salman Rushdie. I'm about to start reading the Pickwick Papers, Charles Dickens. I'm getting back into Dickens, I said, for the first time in a while. And Bleak House, I've got that to finish. Rex Stout, a Nero Wolf Mystery. How about that, salty? But that surprised you. I think it's the 1930s. Fer-de-Lance, the first Nero Wolf Mystery novel. It's great. The great setting, it's properly like 19... I'll check now. 1999. Fer-de-Lance. You what? A snake came up. Okay, it's the first novel by by Rex Stout, the creator of the detective Nero Wolf, published in 1934. I'm reading a 1934 American detective story. It's brilliant. So good. These are not all on the go at the same time. These are things that I've been, I've bought or I've read or I'm rereading. I've dipped in and out of. I finished Hanif Qureshi's Shattered. It was really, really good. Another memoir. And it was in that memoir that he recommended the Salman Rushdie memoir, basically. You've got to read them both. They're not too long. They're fascinating, darkly funny, tackling really serious subjects. One was like a attempted assassination, where it's amazing he survived from what I've heard and what I've read. And the Hanif Qureshi one is a tragic accident he suffered at home. Well, in an apartment, he fell off his chair and pretty much almost broke his neck. Like passed out, fell off his chair and like damaged his spine so much so that he's stuck in a wheelchair at the moment. Almost lost the use of his hands as well. It's terrifying, but he tackles it. It sounds depressive, but he tackles it so candidly and so funnily and honestly at times. We've got to be read the Karamazov Calamari. The brothers Karamazov, of course, Dostoevsky, but the Oxford World Classics titles it the Karamazov Brothers because they like to be different. I've only read Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. I'm hoping to get to this upcoming because I'm making a concerted effort this year to get back into reading. And not just getting back into reading, but reading some classics as well as me pulpy nonsense. Waffle! Good to see you, awesome one. With the answer to the question of life, the universe and everything. 42. Gray always makes me sleepy. He sounds like someone narrating the lives of sea lions. How about that, Nos? Get to bed. I love the old 20s, 30s mystery writers. Tell you, man. Needs to get back to, Chandler and everyone else. Gray built his own... Oh, my God. You're mad. I'm not reading your comments. You're insane. So there we go. What else is on the list here, Gray? I'm rereading Neuromancer. I just dip in and out of that, you know what I mean? Because the text, the dialogue, Gibson's dialogue, it's stunning. It must be my 6th or 7th, and I'm not showing off. Reread of it. I love it. KLF, Chaos Magic and the Band Who Burned £1 Million. Fascinating, true story. A really pulpy, sleazy horror collection by Richard Lehman, The Cellar, The Beast House, The Midnight Tour, and Friday Night in Beast House. Christopher Priest, The Dream Archipelago, which I need to reread. Ursula K. Le Guin, The Wind The Wind's 12 Quarters, it's a collection of very early short stories, which is awesome, dipping in and out of that. And Bruce Sterling, William Gibson's The Difference Engine, which I didn't finish. I DNF'd that back in the day when I was first getting into doing book review blogs, my book review blog. So I need to re-get into that as well. So, so much going on, so much to read. So much to read and so little time. KLF, That's the one, Salty. In it, eh? In it. I went, London then for a minute. Goodness gracious. The question is, do we finish with the... Well, I'm not finishing yet, but I've got 15 minutes. The Invisibles or the Big in Japan song? That's the question. I'll leave it up to you. Actually, if I play a bit now, we can test them out. I'm not sure which theme is which. Oh, that's a new one, yeah. So it's either that or... I mean, they both sound Oasis-y, don't they? They both sound Oasis-y. Right, so yeah. Where am I? I'm all over the place, aren't I? God, as usual. As usual, but that's what you come here for, isn't it? You come here for the waffles, and you stay for the tea. The tea in the tea house. Oh my goodness, is this true? Okay, it's not a massive story. I just I hadn't heard. I heard that Chip Zdarsky has just signed an extended contract with Marvel, not exclusive. He's doing another 2 years, but he's allowed to work for other companies as well. And on that note, did you know Sex Criminals is getting a TV show? It just popped up on the feed here. Let's have a look at this. Coming to Prime Video. And it's about to break time and TV. I tried maybe the first volume of that, and it just wasn't for me. The Eisner-winning comic where sex stops time is finally headed to TV, and things are about to get very weird. Prime Video is moving forward with an 8-episode series inspired by Sex Criminals, the celebrated graphic novel by Matt Fraction and Chip Zdarsky, as first reported by The Hollywood Reporter. Here we go. The adaptation is being co-created by Kumail Nanjiani, Emily V. Gordon, The Big Sick, and Tse Chun, Gremlins, Secrets of the Mogwai, with Nanjiani also set to appear on screen. Often pitched as Bonnie and Clyde filtered through the awkward charm of the 40-year-old virgin, Sex Criminals centres on Susie and John, two people who discover that time literally freezes whenever they have sex. My God, I've got a massive, ringing in my right ear. What does that mean? Right for spite, left for love? Someone's talking spitefully about me. What starts as a strange shared secret turns into a relationship, a lot of sex, and eventually a crime spree. That is until they realise they aren't the only ones with this ability. No way. There it is. There's a covers to give you an idea. Sex Criminals, yeah, blah, blah, blah. There's no date listed for it. It's just saying it's coming out or it's being made for Amazon. Just the same with Criminal, Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips' awesome Criminal comic book series and graphic novels. That's supposed to be coming out on Prime sometime this year, as is on Apple TV. Neuromancer, guys, girls, we were talking about that before. That's supposed to be coming out too. Looking forward to it. Kind of half cautiously optimistic, half terrified that they're gonna ruin my boy. How isn't I'm Turning Japanese a staple? Turning Japanese, I really think so. It's too late for me, Nos. It's too late. Too late for me. And you know what that song was about, don't you? You know what I mean? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, but Salty, didn't you get one of your comics signed by his insufferable wife at a comics convention just for the shits and giggles? Is that right? Oh my God, man! I think you shared a photo of when you met her. You should have taken a selfie with her. Looking so happy. I'm joking, of course, but I think that was cool. Right. 4 people watching. That's good for me. Just laughing at we could finish on a laugh. I could show you my YouTube stats. Oh, guess what? For the month, guys, good news. Good news, ladies and gentlemen, boys and germs. Good news. I've actually gone into the positive I've got into not the red, I'm in the blue for subscribers. I'm not -2 anymore for the month. For the month! I think I'm +4, but I lost one this morning when I dropped the Absolute Martian Manhunter review, so I'm +3 for the month. Kelly Sue DeConnick. What's her name now? Did she keep the name? I'm sure she did. I'm sure that was part of the prenuptial, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I met her, but I want no picture of me and Kelly. Kelly Zoe. Salty, you madman. Oh, that was so cool. Can I share it? Can I share it on the stream? No, I'm joking, of course. I would never do that to you. Oh my goodness. Yeah. I want to try and to finish off on something like to share. What should we have a look at? I'm gonna go out on something good. I thought about Absolute Batman, but everyone's going to talk about that. Yeah, Absolute Wonder Woman. Did you read Salty or Nosferatu? No, you didn't. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Battle Nexus, Issue 3. Oh yeah, I'm forgetting what I was going to do. I was going to actually read out Gabe Hernandez's fantastic written review of Absolute Martian Manhunter for a laugh at the end, because it's a great review. And he's one of the only honest people doing that. Actually, should we do that before we finish? How about Redcoat? I don't have it handy, man. I don't have it. I was going to share. Nope. Yeah, but you're not seeing the art, Salty. It's really good. Have a look at this. Have a look at this. I'll show you while I go back to that review instead. I know it's IDW, but look inside. Here we go. Ready for this? The art is by Vitor Kafagi. It's beautiful. I love this painted style, and it's like Japanese mythological creatures mixed in with the TMNT, characters. Really good. Fearmonic really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good, but I don't know much about the the characters, the universe that well, outside of the basic stuff. Look at this, come on, you're not having it, are you? No, I'm talking to the wall, aren't I? Any comic that ends with the word metalhead can't be bad, in my opinion. It's not done anything wrong. Okay, we will do what I said. We're gonna go to get Gabe's review for the end. I'm getting the main TMNT series too, Salty. I am. And I'm enjoying it. Give Gene Luen Yang a chance. I say, because his new Superman was so much fun. It was really good. Right, here we go. I want to get CBR up for the laughs. We're going to finish on laughs and giggles. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Jesus, I nearly hit X then on everything. Ended the stream by mistake. Everyone starts cheering. Woohoo! The panels feel sparse and static. I see. Where are we? Share this screen instead. It's not letting me. I mean, I hardly come on here, but I was so happy to see that Jim, Weird Science Jim, and then one of the people on the podcast or listens to the podcast, Brandon, he dropped an honest review of Martian Manhunter, and so I dropped mine. Look at this. Come on, guys, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Make sure this is sharing. So just for a quick look and a quick laugh, the critic rating is 8.5. There are only 6 critic reviews. Back in the good old days when it was a site that was used a lot, there were like 20 reviews or 30 reviews regularly for titles. Geek Dad always gives everything a 10. Fanlight Zone gives it 9.6. 9.5 from AIPT. Nerd Initiative 9.5. Comic Watch 9.4. Then we get to the bottom. Weird Science, Gabe Hernandez 3. 3 out of 10. This is a review I'm going to read in a minute, but before I do that, let me get to the critic reviews. Sorry, the user reviews, the ones you can rely on. Oh, hang on a minute. Who's this at the top? Wakizashi Reviews? Here's my quick highlighted review, so you don't have to listen to my 40 minutes? 35-minute deep dive with Fearmonic. Absolute Smelling Your Own Farts Issue 8 is an absolute waste of the reader's time and money. Even worse, it's an absolute waste of artist Javier Rodriguez's talent. Denise Camp, Denise with a Z, by the way, Z, needs to lay off the holy herb and start writing a coherent story that actually goes somewhere. I think I was being generous. Scroll down, get rid of the 10, 10, and 8, get to Weird Science Jim. The book is the newest example of the Emperor's new clothes. Most people who praise this book can't say why, but when they try, they sound as high as Dennis Camp loves to be. bang on that he is on social media. Say no to drugs, kids, and talking chicken wings. And then Brandon, he put 1.5 out of 10. Dennis Camp has let the smoke get to his brain. A heavy-handed political message that lacks any justification in this book. A total wreck from a writer who must spend more time wrapping blunts than working on plot and pacing. There we go. And these are the 10s out of 10s. This is all they can put. Camp is a wonder. Mind effed in a good way. You know, it's like, wow, you really thought about that, didn't you? 8 out of 10 from Batsledge. Let's read it, to be fair. Let's read a positive. I think this might be a fairly honest review from him or her. This issue, while very good, well, I would debate that immediately, didn't seem to move the story forward very much. Hello, that's what I've been saying for the whole series until the last page or two. There seemed to be more psychological angst than usual this month, though I did enjoy the scenes that unfolded as the Martian and John seemed to take a break from one another for a sizable portion of the issue. Not really, just a few pages. The mysterious government folks who showed up at the end of the last issue returned this month, but what they're up to isn't clear. Do you know what? Nothing's clear in this because it's Dennis Camp. I just added that, by the way, that's not Batsledge. But overall, this issue's thrilling story... Did we read the same comic? Did we read the same book? Seemed a little more unfocused and ponderous than last issue. So there's the honest part of the review. Unfocused and ponderous, and didn't seem to move the story forward. I'll agree with that. Now, come on, we're going to get to Gabe's. We're going to finish on Gabe's review on the Weird Science comic book site. Here we go. Read the full review. I thought it wasn't going to let me then. Share this tab instead. Here we go, guys. Are you still there? Are you ready for this? Base Jim. Yeah, Salty Geek Dad is such a shill, isn't it? It's ridiculous. Absolute Martian Manhunter issue Manhunter issue 8 review. It's written by Dennis Camp, art by Javier Rodriguez, letters by Hassan Otsamane El Hao, colours by Javier Rodriguez as well. $4.99, DC Comics. First impressions. This issue is a frustrating mess that mistakes shock value and, where are we? Superficial melodrama for storytelling. The opening pages establish a premise with actual emotional weight. So there you go. See, Gabe's being fair, at least, with a positive point there. John Jones trying to reconnect with Bridget and Tyler while his inner Martian voice warns of collapse. Let me just interject here. The problem is John Jones has been trying to reconnect with his wife and son since issue 1, and he's got no closer, and we're on issue 8. Then the comic abandons every thread of coherence and dives headfirst into abstract ranting about guns, the nation state, and ideological frameworks that have nothing to do with John's personal tragedy. By the end, you're left wondering if you read a comic or a political manifesto that happened to have speech bubbles. Gabe! Sus Gabe is awesome. Skip the recap. I'm going to skip the plot analysis. Just give you, what he's saying about the writing and the art. The writing deteriorates rapidly after establishing genuine stakes. The opening 10 pages work. John's attempt to reconnect with his family is grounded. The fear that Bridget thinks he is insane feels earned, and the tension builds naturally. Then the issue introduces its second half, and writing discipline collapses entirely. The entire section about the gun becomes an extended monologue that reads like the writer needs to make a statement about American violence and decides the comic is the appropriate venue. Lines like, "Holy bright, terrible, dangerous, sexy, powerful destroyer." I know, it's true. And the breakdown of gun symbolism through American historical events is incredibly heavy-handed and disconnected from John's actual crisis. This is not character voice. This is authorial commentary forced into dialogue. Man, he says it so much better than I can, because my brain is broken. The pacing destroys itself. You move from intimate family conversation to symbolic gunfire to a new entity introduction with no connective tissue. The comic also abandons the plot set up from issue 7 about fake alien reports. That subplot vanishes, reappears in fragments, and never coheres into anything readable. There we go. About the art. Javier Rodriguez's art supports the chaos through inconsistency. The early pages in Bridget's home use warm, lived-in colours that feel safe and domestic, establishing a visual anchor for what John has lost. The problem is the composition becomes fragmented and unclear during the actual confrontation. When the agents arrive, the art style shifts dramatically into abstract symbolism and visual noise that prioritises shock over clarity. The later pages devolve into visual metaphor. The gun becomes a sprawling sequence of disconnected images layered with text about American history. I tell you, you've got to read it to believe it, folks. This looks experimental, but communicates nothing about what is actually happening to John physically or emotionally in that moment. It just feels like it's randomly dropped in. The final motel scene returns to more grounded work, but by then the damage is done. Rodriguez's art is technically skilled, but narratively disruptive. It refuses to let readers follow the story when clarity is most needed. And I'm just going to skip down to the final verdict. Here we go, Gabe's final score, 3 out of 10. Absolute Martian Manhunter 8 is a comic that sacrifices its own character work on the altar of political messaging. The issue opens with genuine emotional beats, showing John Jones attempting to reconnect with his family, creating real stakes and human conflict. However, that narrative momentum gets abandoned halfway through for extended monologues about gun symbolism and American historical violence. They've got nothing to do with John's actual problem. The art becomes experimental and unclear at the exact moment clarity is most needed. Now, let's see, I've not had a reply, have I? There's 2 comments. One is by me, by the way. My comment is a reply to this comment from Anonymous. Are you ready for this? Let's just make it a bit bigger. If you can see it on the screen, I don't know. Anonymous says this. This is to Gabe, the reviewer, who I know and I like, by the way, he's cool. Even though he's sus. To read you is like to read a MAGA Krika from the New York Post. Is a shame you're biased down a grade the score of this awesome series in CBRU just because it hurts you pro-Trump feelings. That is a comment word for word from Anonymous. Too pussy to put the real name down, or even the YouTube name or whatever the social media, social networking name. Reply from Wakizashi Gray last night. Can you write your comment in English next time, Dennis? I reckon that was Dennis Camp, pretending to write an angry comment. Okay, that's it. Back to Gray, back to me, back to you. Base gyms. Look at all those AstroTurf 10s. Stoner Comic Camp, craps out comic slop. There you go, Salty. That's the title for your review. Get one done. Get it on your channel. I know it's just too much like hard work, innit? Do you know what I mean? Crazy, right? Crazy. Right. Forget about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I will bring up something good to look at as we play out. We will scroll through. What should we go through? I'll give you some choices. Are you ready? Skinbreaker, issue 5. Feral, issue 20. Or Iron Man, issue 1. No thanks. One from the past. I Hate Fairyland, issue 1. Fearmonic's getting me into that. I'm going to start reading it from the beginning. Or one of the Absolute titles. Answers on a postcard to Gray, Wakizashi's Tea House, somewhere in Japan, the world. Skinbreaker. Nice one, Salty. You called it. I wanted to do that. Let's show some beautiful art as we go out. With a song. Not from me, don't worry. I'm not going to start singing. Skinbreaker it is. Here we go. I'll leave a comment there so people know what it is. I did not read Iron Man issue 1. I skipped it. I saw it got fairly average to fairly positive reviews. Average though mainly. So I was like, nah. I never got into the character. I don't know about you. Never really got into him. Okay, let's share. Share the screen. We'll show you some beautiful art as we go. As we go out. And I'm going to play the Big in Japan song that Jim made for me. What a star. Here we go. Mind your eardrums. It's not that loud, but turn up a little bit.
Woke up late with the sun on my back. Thoughts too loud for the life I lack.
Oh yeah.
Posters peeling off the wall. Everybody here says I'm a sonic boom. They don't hear me where I stand, but the echo travels farther than they planned.
Here we go, love. Have a look at this.
All in this London rain, but I shine like gold on a supersonic train. I'm big in Japan tonight, hands in the air underneath the neon light. They call out my name like I understand.
Now you're talking. Look at that scene there.
'Cause I'm big in Japan. I'm big in Japan.
Look at the spoiler ending. There we go. Goodbye, darling. Goodbye, darling.